Among the ruins of World War II, one artifact continues to capture the imagination of historians and military enthusiasts alike. Not for its battlefield impact, but for its sheer scale. The Schwerer Gustav or Heavy Gustav, a gigantic railway gun engineered by Krupp for the German army, was the largest artillery piece ever used in combat. Towering nearly 12 meters high when mounted and weighing an astounding 1,350 tons, Gustav was less a weapon than a monument to the era's obsession with bigger and more powerful means of destruction. The gun's 80-centimeter caliber barrel could hurl a 7-ton shell over 30 miles with devastating force, capable in theory of penetrating several meters of reinforced concrete or even a meter of solid steel. Operated by a crew of over 1,400 men and requiring a massive logistical footprint, including twin rail lines, cranes, and support battalions, Gustav wasn't just a gun, it was an operation. But for all its physical dominance, Gustav's operational life was surprisingly limited. Built with the intention of breaking through the fortresses of the French Maginot Line, against which it was never used, it instead found its moment of firepower in the east. Gustav saw its first and only full combat deployment during the German siege of Sevastopol in the summer of 1942, part of the German offensive in the Crimea. After weeks of preparation, which involved laying a special rail line and assembling the weapon piece by piece, Gustav opened fire on Soviet fortifications on the 5th of June 1942. Over the course of several days, the gun reportedly fired around 47 rounds, targeting key defensive positions including underground ammunition bunkers and Navy artillery batteries. According to the German reports, though exact details remain disputed, Gustav was instrumental in the destruction of Fort Stalin, Fort Molotov, and the White Cliff artillery installations. One shell was even said to have penetrated 30 meters of earth before detonating in an underground ammunition depot. Love diving deeper into military history? This video is supported by my YouTube members who get exclusive videos weekly, not available anywhere else for their kind support. You can join their ranks easily. Just hit the join button now to get the exclusive videos and much more. Thank you for supporting me. I couldn't be doing it without your help. If you want to know more about Germany's Panzer tactics, check out my ebook in the description. However, this demonstration of brute firepower was short-lived. The gun's slow rate of fire, immense logistical requirements, and vulnerability to air attacks made it impractical for rapid campaigns or dynamic frontline warfare. Gustav was later reportedly transported to Leningrad but never fired again in combat. As the tide of the war turned against Germany, the weapon became more of a liability than an asset. As Allied forces closed in on Germany in the spring of 1945, the German leadership faced the stark reality that many of their prized weapons could fall into enemy hands. Among these was the Schwerer Gustav. Though it had seen limited action, most notably during the siege of Sevastopol, the gun had immense symbolic and propaganda value, not to mention the potential strategic importance if captured. To prevent such an outcome, the German troops undertook the deliberate destruction of the weapon. In the middle of April 1945, one day before American forces reached the area, Gustav was dismantled and demolished by explosives. The destruction was complete, suggesting a calculated effort to ensure that no significant components could be salvaged by the advancing Allied forces. A week later, on the 22nd of April 1945, the American troops discovered the shattered remnants of the Schwerer Gustav in a wood area approximately 15 kilometers north of Auerbach in Saxony. The site was a secluded location, chosen likely for its concealment and distance from major transport routes, making the gun less visible to Allied reconnaissance prior to its destruction. The remains consisted of massive, twisted fragments of steel, railway carriages, and parts of the barrel and breech mechanism, though much of the weapon had been effectively rendered unrecognizable. No complete technical blueprints or intact systems were ever found, suggesting that documents were destroyed or removed before the arrival of the Allied forces. In the immediate post-war years, the wreckage of the Schwerer Gustav was scrapped on site or removed piecemeal for salvage. Unlike other captured German Wonder weapons such as the V-2 rockets or jet aircraft, the Gustav held little practical value for reverse engineering due to its sheer scale and obsolescence in the emerging Cold War era. Mobility and rapid deployment became the more critical than brute firepower. Today, no known large components of the original gun survive, though some documents, photographs, and smaller items related to Gustav are preserved in military museums across Europe. The exact fate of every fragment remains uncertain, lost in the fog of war and post-war operations. The Schwerer Gustav ultimately stands as a testament to the extremes of wartime engineering, a weapon too large to be practical, yet too iconic to be forgotten. Its deliberate destruction and secretive burial in the Saxon forests ensured it would not be paraded as a trophy, but rather fade into legend. The gun's brief but dramatic appearance in history, followed by its ghost-like disappearance, only enhances its mystique. While the shattered remains of Gustav have long since vanished, the questions surrounding its end endure. Was anything preserved in secret? Are there still fragments buried in the forests near Auerbach? Nor now, the Schwerer Gustav remains a silent giant, vanished but not entirely forgotten. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.